3, 2, 1. Bro, you're so fucking, you're so stoned looking. I'm so weird that you're in front of me right now.
I know, that's why I'm looking, because it's weird. I'm used to like not seeing you in the podcast episode, me just listening to the guests, but now I'm looking at you and I'm just like,
What's up, guys? Welcome back to WAKURADIO. On today's podcast, we have some amazing guests.
we got Judy and Hendo.
Yay!
Yeah, just follow me at HDMIEL. HD Miel.
It's at Judy my first and last name.
Nice, nice.
All right, guys. We like to start off every podcast with the guests telling them what they did WAKU recently. Hendo, you know what WAKU is?
Yeah.
You want to explain it to Judy?
What is your WAKU moment? She got the memo.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You got the memo? All right. Here, what's up then?
The most recent one. Well, mine's kind of hard. I've done a lot of
Recently?
probably the skydiving.
Yeah.
That's probably my most recent
Same.
one.
Oh, you guys went skydiving together?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Oh, shit.
it took us 3 times to finally do it, but you know, because the first time we went to the original location and they moved location like just recently.
Oh, really?
So we had to reschedule.
Oh,
So then we rescheduled. The wind was interfering, so we had to reschedule again. And then the third time is when we finally went.
oh, shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we also had to reschedule our original time because of high winds too. So technically we got rescheduled like 3 times.
How does that make you feel?
Annoying, because I was like so fucking ready to go skydiving.
And then you got postponed.
You know, I'm all like mentally prepared. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then later on, I'm just like, okay, I want to get this over with now. But
Yeah,
it was crazy.
She wanted to stop it, but my OCD was like, you know, I got to finish this.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to. I still wanted to.
Well, you know, good job.
Yeah.
Proud of
That's what's up, man.
She gave me a fucking migraine though.
What, the jump or?
Yeah, like it was such like a high pressure.
Oh, yeah.
So the free fall the entire time, I was like suffering from migraine the entire time. I was just like, fuck. It just is so dope, but it's like, fuck, I'm suffering at the same time.
Just like the altitude, probably.
Yeah, I
adjusting,
think
you know?
so. Yeah.
You just gotta get accustomed to it, you know.
Yeah, apparently I wasn't breathing right, I
Yeah.
guess. So my face was like, like you see in cartoons, you know?
Yeah. Wait, that happens? Oh, when like you open your mouth?
Yeah, you taking too much air, and you gotta just breathe normal.
Yeah, it was so hard to breathe, though, I'm not gonna lie. Like trying to breathe through your nose. I'm like,
Just the altitude.
yeah, just out with all the rush of air going into your nose too, you would think. Yeah, but no, it just makes it harder.
Yeah.
I felt normal for me.
Well,
At least maybe because it was my 3rd time. So
yeah, you're probably used to it.
Yeah, so that was your WAKU moment?
That was both.
Recently,
ours.
yeah.
Both of them? Damn, you guys
Yes.
fucking copped out.
but I would say my biggest one all time was probably when I went whitewater river rafting.
Like, was it a 5 rating or what?
No, because with 5 rating, you actually have to take a class because it's different when the way you do like tours for like 1, 2, or 3. For 5, you have to like stop and then hike to a certain place, and you got to draw what the next curves. You got to plan the next turns. Yeah. So it's like very detailed when you do class 5.
Damn.
I want to do it one day though.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm fucking down,
to
bro.
do it. Yeah,
I be rowing in the garage, dude. I got a rowing machine. Let's be fucking rowing in the garage as a workout.
dude, those are, you know, they don't look like much, but they're strong as fuck.
Yeah, dude.
One time I almost drowned, and we were at a class 3 during that time, and then the guide was like, hey, you know what, if you guys want, while we have time, you guys can jump off the raft and just like experience, like feel the tides, whatever.
Right.
And when you look at it, it doesn't look like much, whatever. So anyways, there's a way you have to get out of the boat. You have to like dang yourself off the raft, and then you hold, and then you let go. But I let go too late. And then what happens, I went in front of this whirlpool, and it rotated me in front of the raft, and I went under the raft. Luckily for me, I held my breath.
Right.
But I was under the raft for like underwater for like at least 3 seconds.
Jeez.
So I had to pull myself up, so I almost drowned. But then I still had a blast. So I loved it.
Did you get into mental health because you started dating Henri?
That was part of it. No, I'm just joking. No. That's something I've always been fond of. I guess it all started because I have a lot of friends. I don't know, it's very natural for them to come to talk to me and vent to me and seek advice and stuff.
Gotcha.
I never knew that it was going to be my career other than just like a hobby. I guess what really brought me to it, because I recently lost a loved one to suicide.
Oh shit.
So that was a huge plus. So I don't know. It made me go through some things, and it just made me realize like this is what I want to do. Like I want to help people.
Gotcha. So what is mental health?
Well, if you think about it, mental health right now is it's practically a new field. There's not really
I know,
a specific program right
It's
now
been
that's been
around for a very long
for sure.
time, but it's now just recently getting on all.
I think it's finally getting its exposure, but it's been around for a long time. And the fact that it's been for mainly for women, because it's almost taboo for men.
Yeah.
Right? Because like men are like, why the fuck are we gonna go and talk to a therapist or whatever?
Yeah, and what's crazy is that I have a lot of male friends that are actually suffering from like depression and all. And they would tell me about their own personal feelings about like seeking therapy or like just taking like anxiety medication or depression medication.
Right.
You know, it's very hard for them. Like it would be like a pride thing, and it would just be like their stubbornness. You know, it's really not easy for a lot of people to seek.
Yeah, it's a very big
professional
it's a
help.
very big stigma among society right now, the way we're built. So I think it's just a barrier that we just have to like get across. But no one wants to talk about it. That's the problem. So you know what I mean? Like
And it's very
it's a
hard
challenge.
to talk about like your own emotions and opening up to just anybody.
Not for you girls. It's easy for women. For guys, it's different. Because we've always been conditioned to be like to be emotionless. We're supposed to be men. We don't talk about our fucking problems. You just talk. You know, if you do talk about your problems, you're talking to other dudes about it, right? You don't talk to a woman about it because they don't understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna come from a more feminine energy where like if you talk to the bros, like, oh dude, bro, work sucked. And they'll be like, dude, stop being a bitch, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's get it pushing, you know, keep moving. And then we never really deal with it. So like in the last couple of years, because of social media, it started becoming a big thing because to me, we were talking about energies on a podcast, like a couple podcasts ago, but how do you feel about like talking about your emotions like that? Do you still think it's a feminine energy?
Not necessarily. I would say it's a feminine energy. It just depends who you're talking to, you know. Throughout growing up in like past relationships, I kind of realized when you share emotional things with your woman,
right,
it's kind of doesn't really do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So like what I learned is like, well, for me personally, like if I have an issue, like emotional issue, I just kind of try to deal with it.
Yeah. Or go to the boys.
Or go to the boys. Right. Yeah. It's either like, and I'm not talking just any homie. I'm just talking like the really close ones. Those are the ones I'm gonna start talking about like deep shit with, you know.
Yeah.
But the ones that are like, you know, I'm not gonna tell it to like, you know.
Yeah. Some strange.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel you on that one. That's a really deep. That goes deep with me too, because it took me a while to open up to a lot of people, and sometimes it's weird, but talking to strangers was actually more beneficial.
Yeah.
To me than all the other stuff. Even talking to your boys, it's kind of weird, but
I think I know what you're talking about because they don't fucking know you, so they can't really judge you. But like if you were if you're, because it gets difficult because some people won't even talk to their homies about it.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, oh dude, I'm gonna be called a bitch or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that kind of what you're getting on?
it's part of it.
Yeah.
But you know, just sometimes your boys won't fully understand.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, I agree with Seabass. Like, you want to be able, as a man, you want to be able to fix yourself before it gets worse.
Right.
We're not the type to be like, you know what, we're just gonna talk about quit the pussy bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just fucking do it. But sometimes when it gets to that certain point, you want to be able to reach out to like even like hotlines, or hotlines have helped a lot.
Oh, you mean like regarding suicide and shit?
Yeah, that's, you know, I mean, being open. I have the number,
Right.
But like, it's good.
Jesus, you still have it in your phone?
Yeah, I have the number.
My God.
It's like 1-800.
Do you want me to diagnose you right now?
Sure, diagnose me.
Okay. Like Andrew Tate says, stop being a fucking bitch.
I knew you were gonna fucking bring up Andrew Tate. Top G.
Fucking top.
That's not
G.
top G. That's not top G.
It's not.
Talking about your emotions is not top G.
Yeah, bro.
No.
How do you think talking about your emotions is gonna get you a Bugatti? Huh?
What
You
color
got
is your Bugatti?
Oh my goodness. It sounds horrible.
You lack perspicacity.
Yeah, but anyway, so
Rolling back to what he was saying just a little bit earlier. Actually, there's a lot of times at the club when we're working and stuff like that, we'll we'll get to private rooms or something like that, and not all, but some women will like actually just start telling you their life story.
yeah.
And then in like middle of it, they'll even be like, I don't know why I'm telling you this. It just seems easier to tell you because I probably never see you and I paid you. So it's kind of like in a therapist anyway. So here's my story. And I'm just like,
Women are more likely to just come out about their emotions to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something that they're accustomed to, I think. Normally.
Did that like ruin your vibe though?
well, I want to say it ruined it because I genuinely was like, oh shit. But it was just like, you got to understand, I'm in this mode. And then you switch me from like you know, where I'm supposed to be a total douchebag basically to
He's like,
oh shit, now I gotta listen to someone's problems. Now if I say something wrong, she might go kill herself or something like that. So I'm like, fuck. And then it's too big of a switch. It's not like just casually getting there, you know.
Just give her the suicide hotline number.
Here you go.
Is that savage? Is that too?
I mean,
dude, am I deflecting?
I mean, there's ways to go about it. I mean, I think this case by case basis. I don't. Those of you, I don't recommend doing that all the time. But fuck.
But look, after she got that lap dance, she felt a lot better. So.
That's good.
So, you know, she just had to vent a little bit and then get some dude to grind on her.
That'd be so savage if you guys just gave the fucking number.
Right before she leaves. Hey,
yeah, here's the number.
Call.
You should take this. Yeah.
Oh god.
Here's a special gift. Anyway, so going back to it, how does one determine that they have mental health issues?
I mean, one big thing is just not being happy with yourself, with your life. That's a huge.
But I'm in that place right now, but I feel like I don't have mental health issues.
Well, it's not just that. There's so many factors to it, you know.
Right.
As far as like having like certain types of thoughts and how you handle different situations, whether it's something as simple as like paying a bill or how you handle like work situations, especially if it's stressful or whatever. You know, there's so many factors to it. I guess it just depends on. Like
you're talking about the response to like if something happened in your day or something, and then I start acting out like, oh,
yeah, it's all behavior.
like,
you know.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
When it starts interfering with your life, that's when you know you have an issue. And you got to make the fucking decision. Like, hey, you know what? Am I gonna keep walking down that same road, or you're gonna do like little baby steps to kind of change it? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So what are some signs though? Like, what are some like pure signs that are textbook?
Definitely, look, anxiety. You know, everybody has their own different types of anxiety. Like, I'm feeling a little anxiety right now.
Right.
So that's, you know, something. Someone that gets mad really easily is one as well. And depending on how you handle that situation and how you're interpreting like certain types of situations.
Right.
You know, there's a lot. Depression, anxiety, how you act, the way that you talk to people, the way that you talk about yourself to yourself, you know.
Like self-talk is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot on the podcast. Like you can't be just walking out there and being like, fuck, I'm a piece of shit.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you're going to start feeling like that because we talk about a lot of shit on this podcast, actually. Like even just like, it's self-affirmations. You know what I mean? Those are extremely important. Self-talk is a big one. Like,
self-reflections too.
Yeah, your how your mind conceives pretty much what you say, and once you start believing that, that's how you're going to start responding to yourself naturally.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that because in a sense, I feel like we all go through that individually.
Gotcha.
You know, it's very important to be nice to yourself, to be kind to yourself. Because I'm like the kind of person that likes to overthink a lot, and I feel like it goes like in a whole ass circle.
Yeah.
It could go like 180 like real quick.
So because I have a couple of people that I know that are like that too, and it really does harm them because they start overthinking.
Does.
So what are some things that what advice can you give them in order to stop overthinking, or is that something that you can't naturally control?
I feel like with something like that, it takes time, and which is why therapy is there for you, is to understand and learn how to cope with these type of behaviors that we have. You know, exercising is a huge positive thing when it comes to mental health.
Gotcha.
And eating right. Both of these are like the main factors to being mentally healthy. We all need fitness. And like what you guys were talking about, like the sunlight and all.
Yeah, the sun exposure.
Yeah, sun exposure, very important too. Like they even have like those like electrical lamps for like for those that have depression. Yeah, have you seen those?
Yeah, they even have like red light therapy and shit too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So all of those, they're all very important to mental health.
So recently, Sebastian and I have been getting something new, which is sun exposure. But we expose our balls.
Yeah, to the sun.
To the sun.
Oh yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that for some reason.
That's what's up.
It's literally like my morning routine. Like I'll wake up, eat breakfast, and then I'll find the perfect spot in the window, and then I'll just butt naked and just lay there, just bask in my glory.
But that's good. That's good for you.
Yeah.
That's a kind of
like I try to do
love to you. To yourself.
Like I try to do it at least like for 20 minutes, you know.
Damn, that's a long time.
Yeah,
You said like 30 seconds.
Not anymore.
Oh,
I fucking leveled up, bro.
yeah, I'll do it for like 5 minutes.
With the Vegas heat that we have too.
Yeah. Well, that's why I do it through the window.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lay outside butt naked. That's gonna be really weird. You know?
I would.
That's actually a new trend.
laying outside butt naked.
It's called like perineal therapy, where they fucking shine the sun exposure on their asshole.
Yeah, it's like in your taint area. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I read an article about that, so I started doing
Naturally
it.
tan.
Yeah.
Wait, is this really a trend right now?
It's a thing.
It's a small trend, yeah.
thing, yeah.
What?
It's been going on.
Yeah.
I thought we just started doing this because we read it.
No, I read it somewhere, and I think it's already been going on. That's why.
Hippies have been doing this shit since way back.
We've seen it in those dating shows. I don't know if you remember
Were
on
they-
Netflix.
Well, it makes sense why there's so many people who like do yoga and they'll do it naked in their yard.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It feels like freeing almost to go.
That
is
too,
fair,
and
yeah.
it's kind of like them accepting their body
Yeah.
as well.
Gotta love yourself.
Yeah.
Helps with the mental
Self
health.
love.
Have you ever tried naked yoga?
No, I haven't yet,
You should try it.
but I want to.
You should do it.
Yeah.
Stop fucking saying you'll try it. Just do it.
I will. All right, man. Yeah. Fuck. Let's do it right
Mine's
now.
good.
I'll just do it right now. Fuck.
Yeah.
No,
You guys
fucking,
probably see
I
the
got
free
no
strip
fucking
show.
invite and shit. Right?
Yeah. Let's go.
But like what you were saying with the diet and everything, I firsthand can like say diet, working out, and like your sleeping habits, work and getting sun, like definitely helped me out a lot with my mental health for sure. Ever since, like, I didn't do everything all at once. Like first it was like, oh, I'm just gonna start working out, and then I started working out harder, and then I was like, you know, I'm gonna start watching my diet. Then I started watching my diet, and then I went to like, oh, you know, what else can I do? And then I heard something about sun exposure, and I was like, all right, let me try the sun exposure and stuff like that. And honestly, from the last like 6 months, like my mental state now like in the beginning of the year, yeah, it's completely different because I started incorporating all these things at the same time, you know. So it's like just personal experience.
That's
mental
good.
health,
And you should be
per se.
very proud of yourself, because not a lot of people put in that kind of effort to research to help better themselves mentally and physically and all.
Well, honestly, what it came down to is I surrounded myself with a lot more better people. You know, not saying like the people in my past were bad, but the people around me now are definitely a lot more knowledgeable about these kind of things. You know, so it's like I didn't even go researching it. It just, you know, they just, because like the crowd you hang out with really depends, and they start just telling me like, hey man, have you heard about this? And I was like, no. And then I look it up a little bit. And I'm like, all right, see, there's some factual, you know, facts behind this, and it might work. So let me give it a shot. Let me try it out. And then like, you know, Kobe helped me out a lot with a lot of things too, you know, and then, you know, there's a few other people. But like, yeah, it's like, see, I go ask for help. It's one thing, like what I think you should like, it's one thing just venting your problems.
Yeah.
And it's another thing when you like
To take action.
when you take action. Yeah, exactly. I think that's an issue with a lot of things, you know, because there are a lot of times like, see, with like a Kobe, when I was going through that thing, I'll just be talking and fucking being a little bitch, you know. But this is how I talk to myself. Like, don't be a bitch, just do it.
But that's why I challenge him so much.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, do it right now, or go do the naked yoga thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
instead of thinking about it, just try it.
Yeah.
And then you'll never know.
Good. It's so hard for women to do that because we over fucking think so much. Like, I wish I could do that.
You know what helped me.
Wait, hold on. Why do you think women have that issue? Because right now in today's society, women they all fucking think they can do anything, but in their mind they still
We
have some.
overthink a lot of shit. We overthink like ABC.
Yeah, why is that?
So much. I don't know. We got issues. We got fucking issues. It's very hard. I don't know.
I mean, mental health.
There's a lot of procrastination with it, you know. It doesn't take a lot to fix, like even tweaking your mental health just a little bit. Like a lot of veterans, they do a lot of like 20-minute walks just for mental health. It's a real thing. And you know, you don't have to do anything fancy. You can just walk around your neighborhood, you know.
Dude, walking is such a great stress relief. I'm not gonna lie. You just put on like your favorite music or some podcast or some audiobook, and you just go for a walk, and you literally just forget how long you're out there. And next thing you know, it's like 2 hours. You're like, God damn, how much did I walk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are benefiting from the whole, because you know a lot of people aren't having kids nowadays or getting married, so now they're starting to buy houses and do shit for their dogs, right? But it's also a benefit because I mean it makes them happy, and then taking their dog on a walk is also a big plus because they're getting that exercise too. So it's almost like a natural way of grabbing dopamine besides like sitting on your phone and scrolling and getting likes and shit.
Yeah.
Because that's just a synthetic fucking dose of fucking dopamine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not just that too, but like we talk about social media and the, you know, negative effects of it on your mental state. But like, you know, scrolling through, like depending who you follow and stuff, you know, you might see like all this people living this lavish lifestyle, and like, and how we talk about previous episodes, people living fake lives out there, you know. But then like you see this person living a fake life and you're thinking it's real, like, dang, I wish I could be there. Now I'm stuck here in my house or whatever. I'm stuck at this 9-to-5 job or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
and then it brings, yeah, exactly. Not only that, but if you're working inside an office, you're not getting sun exposure, and I'm pretty sure the average American is not watching his diet, not working out. So of course you put all these factors together, you know. Someone's gonna be just fucking, you know, mental illness.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be laughing, but yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's true, and it's like, you know, there's little steps you guys can do to like, you know, help yourself
Yeah.
mentally and get to the next level. You don't have to conquer everything at once, but like if you have something that's bothering you, just like, all right, I'm gonna just conquer this one thing.
Yeah.
And then you conquer and you feel good. Now let me go conquer this other little thing, you know? And then you conquer and then you feel good. And then you learn more about yourself too, like what you can push through. And the next thing you know, you push something through crazy hard and you're like, wow, that was nothing.
So that brings up the question of like, because I know a lot of people are very dependent on like that are depressed or have mental health issues. They'll rely on prescription medication. But do you think that because like everything that Sebastian's talking about is pretty much holistic, right? It's like a natural way of going and conquering it, getting daily sun exposure, exercise, diet, everything. Do you think that with like severe depression and anxiety, do you think that could be resolved with just the holistic path, or do you think a lot of people should rely on the medication?
Oh, you're asking me? It's half.
Really?
Because I don't really like to rely on medication. I prefer to do it like all natural.
Right.
Because I've heard a lot of the negative stories. I haven't heard much positive where like antidepressants is very helpful to them. Majority of the time, like these people would tell me how numb they would feel. I even knew someone that went so far as like crushing the pill and just fucking snorting that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like they want to feel something so bad, they're so fucking numb.
That's exactly what I went to. Mentally, I went to high school and I was like, oh.
Sorry.
No.
Well, shit.
No. Yeah, but I get it.
You good, bro?
I'm great now. Yeah, I'm good now. I went through a lot of shit. I think when I was younger, I went through a lot of mental issues just because like mom and dad weren't there. They're always working. You know what I mean? Grew up with like grandma and then like siblings, and that was it. So like had a lot of issues with like identity. You know what I mean? Like being like technically the first generation in America. And then like parents don't really know like the culture, so you're the one like that has to figure that all out, figure out the new language, figure out how kids are growing up and shit, and trying to blend that in. You know what I mean? So a lot of identity crisis shit. You know, so like
Yeah, especially with American culture, it's more complex than compared to like other third world countries. You know, there are other shit they got to deal with like poverty. There's just so much structure to how our society is.
It's not even that,
and it just adds to it, I think. So
I think because in the third world country, they're actually generally like trying to survive because they don't have food or government assistance and all that shit, right? But here in America, it's so much more like first world problems. Like, oh, I'm so insecure about this.
Exactly.
Or, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I could be insecure about my fucking height for all I want. But there's another guy in a third world country who's the same fucking height as me. He's like, dude, I'm fucking dying. I got to feed my family somehow.
They're not thinking about shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like people from other countries also think about it differently too. They don't really think like we try to put names to everything, you know, like obesity. We try to put a name to that, you know. We try to put a name to like ADHD or something like that, right? So like I remember one day when I was like not younger, even like high school or something like that. I was telling my dad, I was like, Dad, I think I have ADHD, and he's like, what's that? like attention deficit disorder or something like that. And he was like, you don't have that. What is that? That's nothing exists. That's just in your head.
Yeah.
You know. And then you're like, I guess it might be in my head, but Google told me this, but all right.
That's very.
But you know, it's like a different mindset. It's like, what are you talking about? You're like, it's not there.
But it's right though, because like you're pretty much like reinforcing the idea that you do have it.
Yeah.
Just because based off what you're seeing on the thing, and now you're just labeling yourself as what you are. You know.
Exactly.
And so like
self-diagnosing.
Yeah, and like a lot of these successful business people, like they weren't really success. Like they had like health defects or dysfunctional and all that, but they were still able to manage because back then since they had bad grades, they were labeled as they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the levels how they measure people these days. But now you can do so much with what you have now. Like it's just all up to how you deal with those cards. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know.
So going back to the questions again, do you believe that mental health issues could be hereditary?
Oh yeah, it definitely can.
Really?
Yeah, there's plenty of research to prove that it is hereditary. That's genetic. Yeah.
And sometimes that it could skip too, right?
Yeah, depending on like who's like recessive and.
I would say so. It depends on the person.
Oh yeah, I'm over here like just listening to Judy, but I forgot that Henry's actually in nursing program right now too.
Well, no,
he's trying to be
pre-nursing.
Yeah, pre-nursing.
But he still has a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, he does.
Things. Yeah.
He's also Filipino, so it's like natural.
Also personal experience too.
Hey, so
I'm mentally dysfunctional right now.
Does knowledge and skills transfer hereditarily?
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I would fucking hope so.
Like if all his family's been nurses, it's just bound to be a nurse, you know, because he just has the instincts to wipe other men's asses. No offense, any nurses out there. I just fucking with Hendo.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it does. It does. I've always been wanting to wipe asses.
I love it. I can love it.
So in that sense, does it ever go back to does Alzheimer's considered a mental health thing or like all that stuff?
It is schizophrenia,
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, all that. Yeah.
Bipolar, well, obviously, right?
Yeah, ADHD as well.
Which is fake, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Everybody has ADHD.
All the mental disorders are just in your head. That's why it's called mental. All right, so just get rid of it.
Yeah,
Just wipe it out.
Yeah,
You're
there
good.
is no mental health.
You're good. If you're breathing, you're good.
That's all you need.
Yeah, just be grateful that you can breathe. There's people
All
out
you
there
need
can't
is
breathe.
air.
Just think about it that way.
I'm trying to be Andrew Tate here. All you need is
got
air.
the Bugatti.
You don't need anything else.
Oxygen.
All you need is air and money, and bitches will come.
She just got introduced to Andrew Tate, and she doesn't know how to respond to it. She just found out about Andrew Tate.
I don't even know who he was or anything. All I see is fucking him all over social media. Like he's an asshole. He disrespect females.
No, he doesn't.
Well, now here's the thing.
Oh, that's all I see though.
well,
Hey, but you know that's
You have
fun,
to,
you know
like,
just to break it down. This is what she's seeing on her feed.
Yeah, this is
what
what
are
I'm
we seeing on our feed?
Totally different.
We're showing
really?
Andrew Tate.
like he was talking
Yeah.
about like rape and all that, and he was saying like girls like.
See, on our side, we're seeing him defend himself, tell the story, show media articles, prove his point, and all this stuff. And then we're seeing like other videos like him trying to help other people. So like women and men, I'm just noticing, are getting completely different videos on their feed.
Yeah, it's probably targeted
crazy.
towards an audience.
Yeah.
In order to do that.
But not only that, you know what I mean? Like, you have to like really, really watch him because in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I was like, I don't agree with that. This is like a little far fetched. But the more like you listen to Andrew Tate, he's like very like the more you listen to it and you actually listen to it, I'll agree like at least 98% of the time. You know what I mean? 98% of the time, I'll fucking listen to it. I mean, the other one, like, I'm not gonna agree with all his points. But some of the shit he's pretty articulated the way he speaks.
Oh, we've talked about Andrew Tate numerous amounts of times.
Dude.
We love Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I know.
I actually go back and forth. Like sometimes I just think he's a douche, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, he has a valid point.
Well,
I'm just like,
But he knows that though. He knows he's an entertainer. He knows that, and he's a good marketer. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he is.
He knows how to work the internet. That's
He's like Trump.
Yeah. Like I lean more towards his way, but then there's like.
But you have to understand though, if you watch him, you'll know that he's actually a fucking troll.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a
saying.
fucking troll,
Yes.
and a lot of people take it in the wrong context when he's just trying to be funny.
That's because he gets views, and then they take his shit what he says too literal.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
stop taking shit anyone says on YouTube so literal.
You know what I think though? I think you don't agree with it because you're a woman. Okay.
Or just what I see, apparently. Because all I see is people posting negative stuff about him. So everything that you guys are saying and mentioning right now, that's not what I see on social media. So I don't know.
But there's tons of videos where he's disproving females, and they finally agree with him.
Yeah.
So you have to like look at those videos.
You know,
I've never seen
on
them.
certain points, he has
Yeah.
really good points on certain.
I was just watching a video today where this girl was like, Andrew Tate is amazing. And he goes on, why? Why is Andrew Tate amazing? And she's like, because he's fucking smart and knowledgeable.
And then she's
educated."
like,
and then she's like, I fucking love Andrew Tate, and women are fucking stupid. You know what I mean? And then he's like, so what about you? Are you? And then she was like, she was like, and they're trying to be city girls.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, aren't you falling into that category? And she's like, no, I'm an educated girl. And then he's like Andrew Tate, and she's like, yeah. And I was like, perfect. Well, there you go.
Oh, then.
Because
Okay.
it's you probably don't understand it because it's actually he opens the door until red pill, which is like a different mindset. So it's like basically exiting the matrix of like the reality, right? And just taking that red pill and going out and basically seeing it from a different perspective of like how it's supposed to be. Because if you've noticed in today's society, women don't want to be traditional anymore, right? What's the reason for that? Why do women not want to be traditional? Why do they want to be more modernized today?
They want more power. They want equality. But you know, most times they're like hypocrites.
Yeah.
A lot of females can be hypocrites. They want equality, but then whenever it doesn't appeal to them,
Yeah.
they start buckling down. Like, oh, I don't want that. You know what I mean? But that's the fucking reality of it.
Yeah, like, are you gonna fucking go? If somebody's coming through my fucking house right now, through the front door, trying to break in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. in the morning, are you gonna go and fucking protect me in the house? No, you're gonna be fucking hiding under a goddamn blanket. Like, babe, you go get him. You go get him. Right? Like, a woman's not gonna fucking step up, but they want
Unless the man's a bitch. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like everyone's different, though.
I think even if a man is a bitch, like some people we know, my roommate, he would still go fucking crazy because it's either a fight or a flight, you know, mechanism that's triggered within your brain naturally.
It's true.
I think some men won't have it.
But there's certain men who just don't have it.
Yeah, I can honestly say I don't
But
think
then
every man has
again,
it.
some women can and are capable of.
But we're talking about outliers, though. We're
Yeah.
not the general
Yeah.
public.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about the exception.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're talking about outliers. Yeah. Exactly.
And we're trying to talk about the
General public.
the majority.
Yeah. Majority.
Yeah.
Majority.
Like if you were to pick out of a hat randomly, what are the most common answers, basically, type shit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So, for example, I think in the case of a woman defending, I think it would have to be like a mama cub. Like a mom who's
fuck
going to protect
yeah.
her child because there's no other man there. Like, let's say daddy's at work or, you know, whatever, and it's just her and the child. I think that's when she'll fucking get psycho and she's going to protect her baby.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
know what I mean?
Sure.
You know, being a mother myself too, and a single mother.
Yeah.
I will fucking hands down like kill somebody for my fucking son.
Yeah.
Like you better leave my son alone, or else I swear to God. Like the other day we were shopping at Costco, like some fucking guy bumped his cart on my mom's elbow, like she got hurt.
Right.
And I turned around like, excuse me, you fucking bumped into my mom.
Right.
And he turned around and was like, oh, sorry. I'm just like, yeah, you better fucking be sorry. Like, you know,
Damn.
like, that's my fucking mom.
That masculine ass energy. and shit.
What would you do if he just stepped up to you? Would you say?
Yeah. What would you do if he stepped up to you?
I'm like, what? You really gonna fucking hit a girl? You're gonna get mad for you being the wrong?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand up.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's my mom. That's family.
Right.
That's
She's
the kind
built
of person
different.
that I am.
She's a Bay Area girl. You know? Girls are fucking crazy.
Oh, wait, are you saying she's hood?
Bay Area, like I said, Bay Area girls are fucking crazy.
Shout out to the Bay Area girls.
Saying,
Put once in the comment. Is that what YouTubers do, right? Is that what they do?
Hold up.
Let's go.
mention that.
Tell me to go.
That's your little sexual foreplay.
Yeah.
Nice,
I
nice.
love foreplay. You know.
Actually, so this wasn't on the list that I wanted to ask you guys, but how important is it for sexual health, for men's health?
Wait, how important is it for a man? For a man?
Yeah, for it's like sex in a relationship for a man.
It's very
100%,
important, even for
100%,
women.
yeah.
The fuck? It's nice to get laid.
No, I know, but I'm saying I'm trying to hear this from like a professional perspective. How healthy it is, you know what I mean?
It's very healthy. You know, you're feeling so much like the passion, the love. It's very hard for a lot of people. It's very hard for them to be naked and for them to be open about that to their significant other or to whoever. You know, it's very healthy.
Right.
And on top of that, orgasms, you know, they boost like serotonin.
Serotonin, yeah.
Immune system. everything.
Oxytocin.
Exactly. And you're working
vasopressin.
out, you're sweating that shit out, you're getting nasty. you
Yeah,
know?
tongue in some buttholes.
Yeah.
You know, it's very healthy, and it's like a whole new way of like opening yourself and allowing another person to open to you in a whole deeper level. It could be. Or you just
Sounds like
wanna-
anal.
So a lot of couples when they get married or they have a new child, right? It becomes sexless. And I see this a lot, right? Because I've looked
facts.
into a lot of you know, sexual health and studies like that. And it seems like when both parties are sexless, it seems like the relationship extremely starts to decline heavily. And I noticed that in mental health, it also affects a man's sex drive if he's going through a lot of mental struggles. Right. So what are signs that where you know 100% sure someone's like really critically endangered besides like what are like some actual signs like let's put it in an example where you're in a friends group or you're in a family, right? And you notice something. What are those things that you're really going to look for? Because we talked about anxiety and all those things, but that's happening internally in your head, right? Now, from an external perspective, what does that look like?
Just when the person don't normally behave like they would normally.
Like no more kissing.
And
Like reducing the amount of kissing.
and then like different types of habits, such as like based off of my experience with my son's father, one of the biggest thing was him drinking every day. And then it was to the point where it's like in the mornings now.
Oh, geez.
And that's not good.
Damn, that's crazy.
So that's like different types of habits, new habits, the way that you act towards people, the way that you're so very closed off, you know?
I also noticed that, well, I know for a fact because I've been through this issue, and I think a lot of people have been through this issue where showering becomes difficult when people are depressed, right?
I didn't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Really?
They say like if you don't shower, if some like it gets to a point where you don't shower anymore because you're just not in the mood to do anything.
No,
Yeah,
that
you
actually
just
makes
feel
sense.
really lazy. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I can.
It's common in actually veterans too.
Is it?
Yeah, with PTSD, it's very common.
Yeah.
That's one of the underlying. What do you call it?
It's like it's a
Had a brain
sign.
fart.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
it's a huge
Symptom.
sign.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times people will approach me and then I'll ask them, hey, like, you know, I haven't heard from you in a while, like how you doing, bro? And then they'll say, you know, I don't know, man, I'm just going through like some type of mental thing, depression or whatever. And I'll tell them, go take a fucking shower. Like straight up, like I'll ask them straight up, like, when was the last time you took a shower? Go take a shower right now. And if they can't do it, then I know they're like really deep in it. They need some fucking help.
Oh,
But
I never heard anything like that.
really?
before. Yeah.
And you're over here, mental health professional over here.
Well, we don't focus on, you know, stinky people. Just kidding.
Sorry, Henry.
I smell good. The fuck?
I don't know, man.
With that flamingo on your shirt?
I don't know, man.
Have you ever smelled a flamingo at the zoo? It smells like shit.
A Nike shirt.
So it smells like shit.
I mean, shit.
I'm just clowning, dude.
Damn.
So sometimes people say like, because they're so depressed, why is working harder or more or even exercising, why is that not even conducive to helping mental health?
No, it's very difficult to break certain habits and behaviors, especially when it's been happening to you for a very long time. It's
Yeah.
very hard to break out of that.
I mean, if you think about it, it takes 66 days to break a habit. So it takes time. That's why a lot of people relapse, like going back to rehab, you know. It's not easy, especially when you've taken like loads of drugs, for example, and you've pretty much chemically changed your entire body to the point where now your body's trying to withdraw and like go back to its normal state. And it's hard to bounce back from that. And you just got to push through that, push through those barriers. And I think that's like the biggest thing for people dealing with that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah. So is there like differences in between like men and women showing signs of like mental health issues or no? Or is it kind of the same?
I feel like it's the same. I think it just, to me, I feel like it depends on how the person is,
Right.
their personalities and their energy and how they perceive things.
Yeah.
That's just the way that I see it.
Gotcha. So do you think hormones play a huge part into it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because like women go through, you know, their monthly thing.
Yeah, and then women who gives birth,
Postpartum.
exactly, postpartum depression is a very big thing for women after having a child.
Is that due to hormones?
Yeah, you just gave birth to a child, like your body went through such a traumatic experience.
Right.
You know, you lose a lot. And it was crazy is that I've also heard that sometimes they take like, what is it called?
The placenta?
Yeah, they make it into pills and then
Yeah.
women would take it.
Fuck yeah.
Or
Or you a gangster, you eat the whole thing. Seriously, that's really big.
Yeah, they really do eat it.
Yeah, it's
my
not-
dad did. My mom told me my dad did, but he ate like another woman's. It's not even his. It's another woman.
Wait, tell me more.
And that's it. Like, my mom told me that. I was just like, oh, really?
So nasty.
That's crazy.
Wait,
So,
why do you want to eat another person's placenta?
I don't know. I guess I guess it's not like a big thing.
Is it some Chinese shit or?
I fucking guess. You know, Chinese people nasty.
He was like, he was looking at it and he was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they were back in the day when on MySpace and on that bulletin when they were talking about how the Chinese were eating aborted babies for stem cell. Do you remember that shit?
I think so.
Do you remember that?
I remember it.
that, yeah.
I think it happened like early 60s, I think, right?
I don't know. I mean, they
It
were,
happened a while ago.
yeah, they were eating fucking. They were taking
Okay.
like women who were like in these clinics and basically selling their babies because you know in China or whatever there's so many abortions, but like at the early stages of a baby and the later stages, right? They're so full of stem cell that people would think there was a healing abilities, so they would just literally
That's
take the baby,
crazy.
make them into soups and shit, and eat the fetus.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, y'all didn't know that.
Yo, Chinese be having some exotic ass food.
In this episode, I'm Vietnamese.
She's like, just a heads up. I don't think any of us are Chinese here.
I am. I'm
She's
Vietnamese
half.
Chinese.
Oh. Well, you know, you just told YouTube, so.
Oh. No, that's why in this episode, I'm fucking Vietnamese.
She's like, no
This is my half
man. No man.
She's like, I don't accept the fucking Chinese side right now.
I'm just joking.
No,
I
that's
love
cool. That's
both.
cool. So yeah, so why is it that a lot of women after postpartum or like giving birth, they like have a feeling of like wanting to kill their child and shit?
Because it's very hard, you know, you have to wake up like every certain amount of hours to feed your child, change diapers, And then majority of the time, it's the women dealing with that. Like a lot of the men, they don't really.
Fuck you.
I said a lot, but not, there are some amazing fathers.
I'm not the minority, not the majority. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was tough though.
Exactly. It was very hard, like, I'm not gonna lie, there were times where I was just like very exhausted and I would just get very irritated. Yeah. Not like I would want to physically like kill my fucking son or anything, but it's understandable. Like we have so much thoughts, we just gave birth. Like all we want is the lack of sleep. That's why sleep is very important for mental health.
I've heard that now for smaller children, they're saying that they need like 10 to 12 hours of sleep.
My son, yeah, definitely.
Because I think what it is because they're mentally too stimulated by social media and everything that's going on their devices. So like the sleep standard is now no longer 8 hours; it's like 10 to 12 hours.
Well, it's very healthy for kids to get more sleep at a younger age because they're still growing and they're still developing,
right?
As well.
Okay.
So that's why I say like sleep is one of the huge factors of being mentally healthy. Sleep is very important. And when you're going through postpartum and going through like newborn, it's very hard for you to get that. Yeah. And some women that goes through like breastfeeding, for an example, like if they can't get the baby to latch, it's like a huge woman pride thing as well. Yeah. That's like another thing.
Oh yeah. That's true. Then you feel like you're not mothering your child.
Exactly. You're not woman enough for the child. And you have to, and then you have to rely on formula. Yeah. But birthing, not birthing, breastfeeding a child is very good for like the mother and the children's connection too.
That's true. Yeah.
It's very healthy for the mother.
Like when you first have your baby, they tell you to skin contact.
Yeah, exactly. For both the mother and the father.
Right.
So what happens if the baby doesn't latch? Does that affect?
I mean, I think
that was a formula baby.
Yeah.
Junior too.
Yeah, I was a
Junior
formula
couldn't
baby
latch.
too.
Yeah. Junior couldn't latch. But I feel like looking at like ourselves, those are formulated compared to like other children that were breastfed. There is a difference. Yeah. Not gonna lie. Like I would see like in your friends group, I think some of the children were breastfed, and then like the way that the children are with their parents is very different.
Like they have a closer connection, you mean, or no?
I don't know. I was breastfed and formula fed. So
yeah, look how fucked up you are.
Hey, well, excuse you? What the fuck? I'm healthy as fuck.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, but yeah, no, I've heard that like it goes to side conversations.
I mean, it was but
no, but if you think about it, back in the day before formulas were created, any baby who didn't latch would pretty much die because they couldn't. There's no way. But you know what's crazy is that last year I was out with a client of mine, and then she was telling me about how her daughter couldn't breastfeed because her body wasn't like producing lactation. So they would go and buy breast milk from other women.
That's a thing.
And I was like, holy shit,
Yeah,
that's
you can
crazy.
fucking do that.
I did not know that, man. And this shit is expensive, bro.
Yeah.
It is.
It adds up.
I'm like, damn, I'm about to get some chick pregnant just to milk her like a cow, dog.
Because like even if the baby wouldn't latch, women have the option to pump.
Yeah.
I hated that. I did not like
Yeah,
that.
that's weird.
Off question. Would you guys ever try titty milk?
Yeah, I've tried it.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, who has
I heard it's actually really nutritious.
It's really
for you.
sweet.
Yeah.
I was really sweet. Yeah,
It
sweet.
is.
Yeah,
It's really
there you go.
sweet.
It's good for you.
I haven't taken caffeine in like almost 2 months now. I've been
Really?
pretty much completely caffeine free. Every once in a while, I have like one caffeine drink which only has like 100 milligrams of caffeine.
okay.
But that's like once a week at
Not
most.
even the pills? Not even the...
No, I don't take those anymore.
Oh,
But
really?
like I've noticed with my body, like I can naturally start feeling when I'm starting to get tired now.
Yeah.
So like before, I was always just hopped on caffeine. Even after like few days, I would still feel like I'm wired, but I'll take more caffeine because I just need more. Like I felt like I need more energy and stuff like that. So when I was like sleeping only 4 or 5 hours, I was thinking I was getting good sleep, but in reality, I really wasn't. And now the fact that I haven't had like caffeine for so long, I feel like my body pretty much detoxified itself from it.
Pretty much adjusted.
Yeah, adjusted.
Yeah.
So like when I have only like even 5 or 6 hours of sleep, that day I can feel mentally like I'm like, damn, this thing's bothering me. This thing's bothering me. This thing's bothering me. But like when I have a decent night's sleep, then I'm like, oh, I'm fucking hyper and fucking happy as fuck. You know?
I feel you on that one, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not saying you should cut caffeine off your system completely, but I think it's a good time, like good way to like detox off of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I read some articles about it too, and they were saying like, yeah, it's like they're not saying like don't cut it off completely, but like don't rely on it all the time either.
Yeah.
Just get good sleep, guys.
So going back to the sleep part for me, I wanted to tackle the fact of like some people lack so much sleep that I think it contributes into like seeing like hallucinations and bipolarness and all those things? Wait, why are you looking at each other like that?
I don't know. He looked at me.
Are you seeing hallucinations?
Me? No, I'm not seeing no hallucination.
Oh, you're looking at me because
Yeah.
I don't sleep good. That's why.
Wait. Okay, wait. So going back to the mental health portion of
Yeah,
it.
which is why I say sleep is very important. And I have a really bad habit of sleeping late. And that also contributes to why I don't sleep good.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a lot of, we went to this spiritual thing a few months ago.
The breathing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he brought up a really good point that like blue light is a huge effect, like the blue light on our phone, our computer, TVs, and stuff like that. He even brought up like that you shouldn't do that. I think it was like almost an hour or 2 hours before you go to bed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
that's
yeah.
true.
And then the other thing is to basically get rid of any night lights, window lights, any light inside your room. It has to be completely pitch black in order to get like a full effect of sleep. Because technically, your skin can actually pick up like night lights. So that could actually hurt your REM sleep when you're sleeping every night.
I can see that. I can totally see that.
Because technically, like if you think about it, we're like plants, right? So like we can still pick up that photosynthesis in a way. So yeah. So
I mean, our entire skin's pretty much sensory, so
right.
you know.
So I mean,
response.
I don't know if that's what's going on in your bedroom.
Oh, my it's just a lot of that has to do with also me like overthinking as well.
Yeah. Have you ever tried like a breathing technique?
You know what's crazy is that when it's time for my bedtime is when I have the troubles. But if I'm like, for example, like in my living room, just laying on the floor with my legs up on the couch or whatever, and I would just like close my eyes, try to relax, I would fall asleep just like that, and it would be the best sleep ever.
Yeah, that's
but
actually,
when it comes to like my bedtime, it could be very difficult.
I was listening to Jocko Wilkins, and he said that in the Navy SEAL, that's actually the trick of how they get full rest. It's by sleeping with your feet
With
up,
your legs up, yeah.
and 10 to 15 minutes, and you feel like you slept for 6 hours.
Yeah, he can sleep for like 6 to 8 minutes, his naps.
Yeah.
And he'll be fresh again.
Such a bomb nap.
Yeah. But then again, he's a Navy SEAL, so.
I don't ever take naps, man.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that like loves my nighttime sleep. So I try not to take naps throughout the day. Because as soon as I get that little snap in, I'm like, I am fucking up until 5 a.m., bro. What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't take naps either.
Yeah.
Fuck naps.
Fuck
I'm like, I'm going to drag out this tiredness till it's time for me to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, and by that time, I'm like,
Yeah.
Instant, hit the bed, go.
I mean, I think like that too, but
I think it depends.
Important.
I mean, for me, I utilize a few naps whenever like I feel like my brains has been dead from studying, and I feel like, but all I need is honestly like no more than 15, but usually it's like average like 10 to 12ish minutes.
Right.
I'll wake up and I'll get back at it again. So I think it's a case by case basis when it comes to that. But I mean, like this whole sleep thing, I think it's like a woman thing too, because you know my mom has a big issue on that.
But they're older, so that's different.
Yeah, but I think
women
in general,
are going through menopause and all that stuff. Like
But,
my
like-
mother is the same way too.
But I mean, in general, though, I feel like women bring all their stress into their sleep, whereas in guys, we leave it there, and the majority of the time, tomorrow's a new day. I feel like I don't know if that's relatable, but do you feel like I don't bring my problems to my sleep?
I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I think about shit in my sleep. But what I notice is like,
But does it affect you to the point where like you can't sleep and then like you'll be up until like 5, for example? Like,
No.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
no.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna ruin my fucking day the next day. Why would I ruin my?
Yeah, I hate going to sleep fucking mad or
Yeah.
like anything. Even in a relationship, like if my girl and we argue or something like that, I need to figure that shit out right now.
That's
because
good.
if I wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna be 10 times more mad. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's just like rage filled because I know I didn't get a good night's sleep and I probably had some fucked up dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, I woke up and I just hate this bitch. You know what I mean? She's sitting to my left too.
by the way, just so we're,
You're right. I think women carry all their shit to bed.
Yeah.
Instead of like talking about their problems, I think a lot of times they just hold it inside. But also, you know, women talk about all of their fucking problems.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
was
too
just
much.
gonna say, like, even though I overthink, and if we would have our arguments or something like that, even though I'm the one that I like to communicate, I like to. I'm same with you. I like to fix it right there and then.
Right.
But even if everything is resolved or whatever, like I would still like go through the play by play in my head too. Like I would think about like ways that could have been prevented, things that I should have said, and I shouldn't have said this. You know, there's like, you know, like
Wait. So
so much shit.
So you look at it as like in a form of like, damn, I need to resolve this, more than like, fuck that, this is what I should have said.
Both.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, if I told that motherfucker this, he would be crying right now. But it's
Right.
good that you look at it like in the resolution stages, because then, you know, you're like, okay, you know, I really need to resolve this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Well, that's definitely my career. Is what I have to, you know.
Yeah, so let's go right into that's gonna segue us right over to this portion. So in March 2020, there was an article that was published by Pew Research Center that showed that women are more likely to have mental health issues. In the article, it talks about how politics actually plays into this as well. They conducted research and found that 56.3% of young white liberal women under the age of 30, okay, have been diagnosed with mental illnesses.
Wow.
Compared to 20% of young white conservative women. Thoughts on that?
Pure research.
So technically, yeah, it's PEW. So it's like a research group, and they took liberals, moderates, and conservative, like political parties,
Right.
And they conducted women and men tests. Okay, so basically, women in the highest rate of mental illnesses played in young white females under the ages of 30. So between 18 and 30, they had 56.3% of those women. So more than half of those women were diagnosed with mental illnesses. Now, I don't want to say that like being a liberal is a fucking sickness or anything, right? But that kind of would explain this whole new modern world of pushing LGBT, you know, the lettuce, bacon, whatever, and plus, and then and the whole drag queen shit and all this stuff. So I don't know.
I feel like it's not a liberal thing. It's just the woke culture. That's what's fucking it up, I think. In my opinion.
Yeah, the woke culture.
Yeah, I mean, watch me be count.
You know what?
You can't cancel me. Anyway, I'm nobody right now.
Oh, so you only get canceled if you care. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, do whatever you want. It's your rodeo.
No, but
Ride
thoughts
that
on that?
pony.
Like, do you think that there's an issue with that at all? I mean, it's weird because they're saying conservative women in the same age group were 27% were diagnosed with mental illnesses, and 56.3 on the liberal side. That's fucking crazy.
That's a lot.
I mean, that would make you question, like, maybe liberals are extremely radical. And the mental illness is something that's playing into that, you know, like radical behaviors and all these things. Because wouldn't that be a mental health issue?
And I feel like social media also has a huge play to it too.
Yeah.
You know, we're surrounded by technology, and all we see, like, there was a time where, like, on Facebook, everything I see would be so fucking negative. Children dying, suicide, you know,
think it
so
still
much
is.
bad shit on the fucking, like, I gave up Facebook for a short period of time because of that. I was like, I don't want to see this shit.
Plus, our culture's been pretty desensitized from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We see a lot of more violence now, more accessible on our phones. I mean, look at Tinder. We're desensitized to, like, sexual behaviors now. It's like, it's crazy.
We just have an overload of stimulus
Yeah,
going on
that's a lot.
everywhere, you know? Like, everywhere you look, there's some type of stimulus happening, you know?
Yeah.
With, like, the media, the news, and all that shit. Like, honestly, I don't even watch the TV anymore. I try to get rid of every ad I can because ads are fucking stupid, too, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of them try to promote shit like so.
For sure.
But, like, I don't know, it's just...
I mean, you could technically get rid of social media because every post is technically an advertisement.
True.
Right?
In a way, in a sort of way, especially now with Instagram, how you can purchase stuff right off the pictures and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if you have like items, and I mean, in the end of the day, I get it where they're coming from, the social media. They're trying to make money, you know? So that's why they're analyzing us and all that stuff. But I feel like people just take everything too personal.
Yeah.
Like way too personal, you know? Like, you know, like this whole abortion thing that was going on, you know? Like it technically did not ban abortion. It just gave it to the states to decide if they want to keep it or not keep it, you know?
Well,
so it's not like, it wasn't like every word you can't have an abortion or stuff like that. But like people were just making it seem like, oh, abortion's, you know, I'm not gonna say my opinion on abortion right now in this episode, but you know, it's like, why are you getting so involved in this? Like,
well, technically you're right. But at the same time, they banned late term abortion. It's still, you can still go and get an abortion early term. Right, but after a certain week, you can't do it anymore because technically now the baby has a heart and shit like that. But you know what's fucking crazy? I just heard this story. In New York and other liberal states, they're celebrating fucking their abortions. Like in certain, like they'll have certain parades and shit like that, where these liberals will come out and, you know, oh fuck Roe versus Wade or Wade, whatever, and then they'll start saying like, oh yeah, like they'll throw out like what abortions they did as a celebration.
Jesus.
Oh,
It sounds
great.
like
That sounds really extreme. Like,
It is
Yeah,
extreme.
that is.
Really?
And that goes back to the whole liberal thing.
sounds like some ancient civilization shit where
I
you
mean-
like sacrifice little.
some Aztec shit. You know.
I mean,
like,
I get it. if
You're really like celebrating sacrificing something. Like,
Yeah.
come on, like just say that out loud real quick and see how that sounds. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I
know?
get it if women are having abortions because of like, for example, like they got raped, they got pregnant off that shit.
Yeah.
I could understand the reason to abort and to celebrate,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
But I mean, when
I
you
don't think you should, I don't think you should celebrate any type of abortion. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had an abortion, not me, but the girl I was dating a long time ago, she had an abortion.
You were pregnant?
Yeah, I was pregnant, dude. Because you know, modern days, guys can get pregnant now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got a little 2-month-old right here. But anyway, what was I saying? Dang, what was I saying?
The girl that you were dating had.
Oh yeah, like so, like don't get me wrong, I'm not against abortion, but I'm just saying, like, why praise it? You know, like when this happened, we weren't praising like, oh, thank God you did this. It was like, you know, hey, you alright? You feel cool? Like, you know, you need anything type shit, you know, type stuff like that. But it wasn't like, guys, guess what? We just killed a baby.
Right. Yeah.
How you guys feel about that?
Saying that out loud is
It, it almost gives you chills. Like, come on, say, like, think about it. You know, like if you gotta do it, but don't fucking celebrate and parade about it. Like the fuck, you just.
I aborted my child so I can have a career.
Yeah, like how does that sound saying out loud? You say this shit in the mirror, like just say this some of these stuff in the mirror before you go out and be like, damn,
Yeah.
I sound like a savage or something, you know? Like fuck.
You know who's always the one celebrating it? It's the women with like red, blue, and purple hair. It's always those
the girls that you don't really want to sleep with.
Well, it's the girls that I do want to sleep with, but I don't want to fucking have a child with. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh my God.
let's be honest, they're out there, but you don't want to have a relationship with them.
Yeah.
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 Try to talk anything politics and next you know that she's screaming in your ears.
Speaking of that, bring this up. Okay, cool. Let's do this. The highest rate of suicide against men or amongst men is between the ages of 25 and 34.
Jesus.
The men with the highest risk of suicides are divorced men, okay, military veterans, unemployed men, aboriginal men, which are like indigenous people for some reason, like native.
Yeah, I got to learn more about that.
Yeah, that one's
Curious.
weird to me. And then the fifth one is men with mental illnesses. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, what the like Aboriginal men? Like,
Yeah.
like
I think
tribe men?
I think maybe it comes down to the fact that maybe they're like inbreded or they just don't fit into society.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting.
I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm just putting fucking thoughts out.
All I can think about is like tribal wars and shit, like, you know, like in Africa or some shit. Like, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't want to label, but like
When I was doing research on it, it just came up with like really like different looking people, and I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, I can understand if they were in today's society, they wouldn't fucking fit in, and then that's probably why they commit suicide, because they can't fit in with the culture. Or the, or the
Yeah.
people.
I also feel like around that age group, like what, 24 to 34?
25 to 34.
25 to 34. I feel like in that age, like men go through a lot of changes.
Hell of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of changes.
I think even younger, to be honest.
I mean, like you when you're younger, you're going through like, you know, puberty and all that shit. So you're
No,
dealing with
I'm not
something-
talking about that. I'm talking about like as soon as like if you think about the life of a man, right? Like a young man, he graduates high school and then is expected to do so much because now in order for him to get married or provide for a family or whatever it is, he has to go and build value. He has to go and make money somehow, find a fucking job that's going to pay him well in order to feed 1, 2, or 3 mouths, right?
Yeah.
And then the ability, especially today in today's modern dating, and if he wanted to go and find love or a woman that he wanted to be with, he'd have to fucking have a Bugatti or fucking have 6 figures in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, how do you start off like that? And then social media, you're scrolling, you're seeing all these fucking people doing cool shit. And
Just
you're
go to the
18-year-old.
country and pick up some chick there.
yeah.
But that's not.
They'll
but
pick up
even-
the city chicks, man. That's what I'm trying to realize. City chicks, fucking whack. Like for real, like whack.
It's not
You
even that
want
though.
like a country trick? Is that what you want?
Hell yeah, some chick from a small town that doesn't know shit.
But they have, but they have social media though.
Yeah, but doesn't matter. Social media is still around who you're surrounding. And if you're in a small town, you're more in a family-based environment, I believe. You know, like don't get me wrong. We're talking now. If you're talking about the one random hoe that's in the country and she fucks every dude she sees, she's just the town hoe. Yeah. You know.
Hold on.
But everyone. See, the thing is, everyone in small countries, and I mean small countries, small towns. I hear this from actual girls from small towns. Like everybody knows everybody.
I'm gonna fucking disprove your theory right now.
Like I said, I'm not saying every girl from the country, but I'm saying like, you know, most city girls I would think like definitely think that way.
In the last 3 weeks, we've had multiple guests on.
Dealing with city girls.
Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about guys now. Most of those guys were all from country, and they're all your friends,
Yeah.
and they're all fucking whores.
Yeah, but that's guys.
Doesn't matter. What's the difference between a man and a woman?
Guys are whores.
So are women.
So are women.
I think 25 to 34. Okay.
Life is hard.
So I feel like during that time age too, a lot of people are going, like guys specifically are going through a major change, not just like hormones or whatever, high school shit. Like, yes, in the 21s to early 20s, you can kind of fuck around. But once you start getting to a 25 age range, you start realizing like, I'm about to hit 30. Now, what am I doing with my life? I'm just partying or shit? Like, fuck, well, I need to focus this. Oh, I need to settle down. I need to do this. I need to do that. Now you got all this pressure. Or say you even have a kid at that time, you know? And you're like, dang, I have a kid and I can't provide for him. I'm about to hit 30. Like, what the fuck's wrong with me, you know?
Yeah.
And then you hit the 34 mark and you're kind of like, well, if you made it this far.
Not only that, when you hit like 25, I feel like time goes by really fast.
Yeah, it does.
When you're busy, unless you're like being lazy, then, you know, fuck. I don't know. Time's going to fly so much, then you're going to realize you're going to regret a lot of things. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of pressure for a lot of guys. So, man.
Do you feel like you were in that, you know, range? I mean, I don't know about suicide tendencies, but I mean, you did bring it up earlier. But do you feel, because I know you got a later start in career later on, like in your early 30s.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, it was just like a trial and error. And I had a lot of my own tribulations I had to go through myself. So it was for me, it was a journey, you know. But before it used to get me down. And now I just kind of like look at it like, you know what? It's better than being like 40 and realizing this.
Yeah.
You might as well just, even if you start late, just fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Better late than never.
You know, but it's just a matter of like action, I guess, in my opinion.
Right.
I know that's the way I look at it. But I mean, it's harder when you're older though, because I mean, I'm not saying I'm old, but I still got time.
Right.
But like compared to like other people, like they have a lot worse than me. So then, you know, I look at that way, it's not as bad as what you think. So just take it day by day.
Right.
Just move forward, you know?
Yeah. I mean, right. Technically, you're still young.
Yeah.
And you have energy still. Could you imagine if you started this like later on in life, like 40, 50, 60?
Oh, man.
When people are like retiring or getting sick and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, people like that, I've met people like that. And that actually inspires me. Because, you know, one time in college, I met like an older lady and she was like in her like 60s and she's still going to fucking school.
Yeah, I actually personally know a black gentleman who got his law degree when he fucking turned 65.
Crazy.
I remember him coming in to the establishment that I was at, and he was like, I was like, how you doing, sir? And he was like, oh my God, dude, I'm so excited. I'm here to celebrate. I just got my law degree. I'm like, how old are you? Oh, I'm 65. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's good.
That's inspirational, you know what I mean?
No, it is. But
I think it's never too late to start something.
Yeah, it's never.
You know? Like, you know what I think is kind of cool? Like, I see my mom, she starts going to like drum school, like drum classes.
no shit.
Yeah, like not like drums, but like traditional Korean drums.
Oh, nice.
And she'll like wear a full gown and shit. She'll be practicing in her room, and I'm like, that's cute. That's cute as fuck.
Yeah, that's
you know,
cute,
like seeing your mom play on the drums.
Is the Korean drum the one where you're just doing this?
Well, they have that one. They also have one like I think that's like on the side or something like that.
Oh.
But like she'll like start doing like routines and shows with like other old ladies and shit like that. So it's kind of like funny to like hear. Like, dang, she's going out and trying new things. Let's go.
They're doing like chants and shit.
I don't know. I didn't go.
I mean, but the Korean way.
Where they sound high as fuck. But like, I don't know. She never invites me to them.
You should just go.
I don't even know where they're at. I don't even know when that happens. She just like one day she's just dressed and she just leaves. I'm like,
Bro, she's too fucking cool for you. That's why.
she's too cool,
Yeah.
bro.
She's like, fuck you. I got my own posse. Let me get your own
She
friends.
like, I'm hanging out with old ladies tonight.
Yeah.
She goes out a lot actually.
Next thing you know, she's
for
her. Good for her.
Next time you see her smoking a cigarette, like, what the fuck, mom? What are you doing? Dude,
She's like, mind your own business.
you know what it is?
Shibaseki.
That's crazy. When you said that, I thought she was like doing that like new YouTuber shit because all the girls are now like
No.
and shit. I'm like, is this like a hype in the older community now or what?
No.
She comes home with like straight black like eyeliner makeup and
Next
like
thing I know, she's in screamo. She's like a screamo metal band.
Sound like a pterodactyl.
Some dumb shit like that. Yeah. But like, you know, we even see it. Like, we even see it. Kobe and I talk about it all the time. Like, you gotta always be doing something, you know. Like, you always gotta be somewhat growing. Like, even like we're talking about our dads. Like, you know, they're retired in a way. But like my dad, for example, he's retired, but he's like, you know, I'm just gonna work because I'm bored. I'm staying home all day. You know.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your mind stimulated.
For sure.
I mean, we notice this. Like, the moment you like retirement means death. That's what it legitimately
really
means.
does.
Yeah. You stop working and everything. Like, look at all the really successful people, right? like they're old, but they're still like working.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not working laborers jobs. Don't get me wrong, but they're still out there like.
They're
to make
enjoying their
business.
life.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Well, they're trying to do something conducive to. I mean, think about it. If you're 18 years old, and let's say it takes you 10 years to figure out where the fuck you need to be, and you get into that position where you need to be, and then you work from 28 until you're about 65 years old, where you can actually retire. Let's say if you retire a little bit earlier because you were more successful, still that's approximately 20, 30, 40 years of working. What the fuck are you gonna do after you retire? You worked so many fucking years. How are you just gonna sit there and do absolutely nothing?
Yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of people, they don't like to take risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people would rather spend $500 on some bullshit that's not going to get you any return.
Yeah.
And they don't want to invest their money. You know what I mean?
True.
And a lot of people do that. It's a really bad habit. And I think they get scared of that when they get out of their comfort zone. So they end up not doing it at all. And then next thing you know, they're old as fuck, not doing shit. So
Yeah.
so you guys go live WAKU when you can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Try new things, you know. Try a different hobby that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
Play guitar, like, you know, drums.
Yeah.
Go skydiving. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, your mom is living WAKU, bro.
Dude, she is like
Is she stage performing?
yeah, she goes and performs and like does little shows and stuff like that. Like, you know, in front of other old lit people and shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
that's
But it's like she has this little like old people club.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they'll go there like 2-3 times a week and they'll like share food and like, you know, like potluck type style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like she'll go there. She's like, I gotta go to my meeting.
Hey, Koreans throw down.
Yeah.
So
You know, well, you know about that food, dog. You know that kimchi,
Exactly.
that Korean barbecue.
I'm not gonna fucking lie. Korean food is literally my favorite fucking food in the
exactly,
whole world.
mine
Same.
too. I love the whole Korean.
Korean and then it'll be sushi right after.
Dude, I eat kimchi every day.
That's
like
good.
twice a
It's
day.
good for you.
Same.
Twice a day.
Twice a fucking day.
One slice a day.
No,
I'm
dude.
just kidding.
Like I get like a whole thing. Like I gotta go buy some more kimchi because I'm almost out. Like that's how much I love
Nice.
kimchi.
Do you eat it with your pho?
No, that's fucking weird. Kimchi pho, bro.
Kimchi with pho, you know.
Kimchi pho.
Oh.
I'm so jealous, yo. I started developing food allergies for like seafood and there's shrimp and kimchi. So I'm
No shit.
You
yeah,
can't
dude.
really eat sushi no more.
I know, dude.
no.
Well, no,
Wait,
it's
you
not that I
got food
can't.
allergies?
Yeah, it's been acting up
I
this
thought
past
you were
year.
saying you breastfed on your mom. That's why you're healthy as fuck.
I mean,
Lies.
dude, it just happened this year. You know what I mean? I have no control over that.
Cap.
But I have my appointment.
Cap.
Cap, put a cap on.
But you know what's funny about your comment? Not funny. Well, funny. Well, for me, it's funny because you can't eat sushi anymore.
Well, I can still eat it.
Every time I eat sushi, I'm gonna send you a story. Like, hey Henry,
I'm thinking about you.
Just
but
nasty as shit.
but yeah, like just like remember for the longest time I was allergic to watermelon.
Yeah, I guess we got you over that.
And then yeah, Kobe was like, dude, just try it. You never know. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll try it. And then I started eating watermelon again. No dry lips, no dry throat. I'm like, thank you. So I've been
Why
killing
was
watermelon.
that then? Why do you think that
Well,
changed?
so it happened around almost like 7 years ago, I would say. And the funny thing is I heard was every 7 years, your body naturally changes. So a lot of things can
Yes.
change. So I thought about it. I was like, why am I always like, I would eat watermelon all the time when I was younger.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, I had a watermelon and any type of melon at that point. Then I started like itchy lips and they started like bothering me, dry throat. And all of a sudden it was for like a few years. And I was like, I'm never touching watermelon again. And then after, legitimately 7 years later, almost.
Was it like mild though? Would you consider it was mild?
Yeah, it was mild. It wasn't like where I was like,
same thing with me. Too.
yeah. Like if it was just uncomfortable. That's all. Yeah.
I got a solution for you, bro. Just wait 7 fucking years.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I was talking to one of the healthcare professional. You can't entirely get rid of if you're allergic to it, you shouldn't get rid of it entirely, or else your body won't know how to respond to it. So you still got to eat it, even though if it kind of makes you a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, I got rid
So
of it.
every now and then I'll be choosy, like I'll eat it. I haven't completely eliminated it.
Yeah.
But I haven't ate sushi in like the past like almost several months.
Wait, is it just shellfish that you're allergic to?
So I've been trying to pinpoint it. At first, I thought it was a shrimp, and then I started getting it from like different types of fish, whitefish,
and
and
salmon,
then
right?
So then salmon.
Salmon
It
too.
was weird because salmon's like one of my favorite fish.
Right.
And when the doctor told me I'm allergic to salmon and cod, and I'm like, well, shit, I've been eating this my whole life. Like,
Right.
this makes no sense. I'm
Hey,
like,
it's a mental thing.
Yeah. So, but luckily for me, it wasn't as serious to the point where I need like anaphylactic shock and I need an EpiPen on my leg.
Right.
So, but as soon as I started getting uncomfortability, like,
What do you think the theory would be if you just went on like a full week of binge of like seafood? Do you think you can overcome the fucking allergy?
I told her I'm saving the day where I get a fucking seafood buffet and I eat snow crabs. I don't care what happens to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna Like, dude, no, I like crabs.
But what if that, like, because your mentality is so strong, you just overcome that allergy? You're
I
just,
feel like you can, because after having my son, I became allergic to dogs, where I was getting hives on my body.
Right.
And it was bad hives.
Yeah.
But then I was like, fuck that. I'm not getting rid of my dog.
Right.
And then throughout the entire years, like I felt like it got better because my
Right.
body got like immune to it.
more exposure.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But
Yeah, it's like, dude, you
can
know, like if I
overcome it.
stick you with HIVs,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Totally different.
If I stick you with a needle full of, like, you ever seen the Family Guy episode where they stick Quagmire with like a bunch of different like STDs?
Oh, hell no.
You ever see that
And
episode?
it would be fucking Quagmire.
Yeah.
That kind of hits home to me, actually.
And then they just like stick him with like so many different things, and then he's like, "Oh, I got that, I'm immune." And then they fly to Africa, and then they come back,
God.
and then they stick him with some random new STD or virus, and he's like just fucking dies.
Monkeypox.
Yeah.
Oh.
What if you did that in theory and just went out and just ate as much seafood as you can, and then just got over it, like created a new immunity for yourself?
I mean, that would be amazing. I would love it. You know, that would make me happy. I can eat oysters again. You know what I mean? I fucking love it.
And just keep an EpiPen on you. Why not?
Yeah, if I'm that serious. Yeah.
Have you tried like sushi or fish in like a different location, or is it always from the same location?
Just doesn't matter where I go.
So I was like, maybe it could be like something directly, like just from that one restaurant, like
Yeah, it's like
spice or
yeah.
something.
You're probably like really allergic to like the bleach that they're using to clean the shit or some shit.
Yeah.
Who knows? Whatever is happening.
Like that fish ain't white naturally.
Yeah, something wrong with that.
Bleach it.
Kind of laughing when you brought out that getting injected with STDs and shit like that.
Why?
Because back in the day when I used to rave, I'm not gonna get the detail with it. I was inebriated, right? I wasn't all there. I was in a rave, and
Makes
one of my late buddies, he saw a guy snuck up on me with a needle.
Oh, fuck that.
And so back in the day, not a lot of people are gonna know this, but like
I heard about it.
they're called like HIV crew.
Yeah.
HIV. So these people are like pretty much like mad at life. So what they'll do is they'll inject some of their blood, and they put in the needle, and then they'll inject you, and then they'll have a note on the end of the needle, saying like "Welcome to my world" or some shit like that.
Fuck.
And so, you know, I mean, I was enjoying the rave. I didn't know, but my buddy saved me and grabbed me, and luckily he didn't stab me with it.
Oh shit.
So I don't know what the hell he had on that needle, but I don't know.
Yeah, I remember there was like a bunch of different stories going around. Like people would put. Remember when they still had payphones?
Yeah.
They would put like a needle inside like the payphone. So like, or the change holder, the change coin. You remember that little? Like,
Yeah.
You put in the. So
I've
they
heard
put a
of that.
needle in there, and then as soon as you touch it, there was like a needle with HIVs on. Because I think what it is because misery likes company, and because they have HIVs, they were like, "Fuck, I'm so sad, and I want other people to feel my pain."
That's the whole mental.
So then they become that fucking HIV crew shit.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Jeez.
Fuck you. Fuck all y'all.
If I get stabbed by a needle by a random fool, I'm shooting him.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So do you believe that that women really care about men's mental health? Because there's been a lot of like things going around where I think it's all honestly has to really apply to like toxic relationships.
Yeah.
But like and this is the majority, right? Like they're saying that women don't really give a fuck about men's mental health. And I just saw a video on this.
No, so let's talk about this because you wanted something. So I'm gonna just say it straight up. I don't think women care about men's mental health. I don't think women care about men's well-being. Not all women, but there's majority of them that don't care. It's true. You know how many videos I see on here that like girls will be like, oh, he should just suck it up. Men who cry are weak. Men who don't provide are this. Men who have little dick energy. It's always something about men. Like, I remember that I hate men trend that went around. How come there's no I love men trend? Exactly, because y'all bitches hate men. Y'all hate everything about him, but the only thing you want is their money. Seems a little fucking userish to me. And seems like you only care about guys' money. You don't give a fuck about men. You don't care about their well-being. You don't care about what goes on with their life. And that's the sad part because men matter a lot too, just like women. But this society teaches women that you guys are just the shit and men ain't shit. Men have to fucking have a shitload of money to be categorized as a good man. It's stupid as fuck. A good man is how you conduct yourself and how you talk to people and how you treat others, not based on your fucking money.
Do you think women generally give a fuck about men's mental health?
I feel like it really depends on the woman as well. Because I, for one, definitely do care.
I mean, you're in the.
Yeah, mental health is very important.
I would hope you care.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
Just saying.
I'll be like, Sebastian, here's the number.
It's like, you know
All
what?
that.
Just
Don't come
here.
to me.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like everyone should, though. I mean, for women that really don't care about the mental health and they themselves have some fucking mental health issues. You know, like when you're in a relationship, you know, you're committed, you're putting like these kind of hours and like time into something that's supposed to be long term. You want to be able to be there for each other, to open up to one another, and that's very hard to come by with what you mentioned earlier. You know, it's not easy to talk to people. It's not easy. It took a very long time for Henri himself to even open up to me. You know, but because I put in that effort and time, because I put in what.
Not top G. Not top G.
But because I put in that effort and time, you know, like, you know, I was proving myself, showing that I care, that hey, I'm fucking here for you. You know, a lot of women, I feel like a lot of women, they're so fixated on like these kind of like, themselves and just like superficial shit. You know, they're not really realistic. You know, like for an example, like all you fucking see on social media is like, oh, like these happy couples are traveling, you know, like they're doing this and that, and you want that so bad, but instead of focusing on like what you have in front of you, you're just fantasizing. And that's what can affect like, you know, women's perspective.
I mean, I think we've all dated girls that were like that. You know what I mean? Like real superficial, no value to be added, shit like that. And it's like, they're always talking about like, oh, you know, living this dream that's being sold by social media. So I think a lot of time, I think you're right though, because women don't give a fuck about, well, I'm saying not all women, but a lot of women don't really give a fuck. I think at the end of the day, they're really just interested in like what you can give me. So that goes back to like roots, right? Like protection and security, right? So protection, security, or providership. So what can you bring me, and what can you give me, and I need you to step up and be a fucking man. Like Sebastian had a saying the other, a story that he was talking about how.
Which story?
You were on the strip or downtown, and some chick or dude bumped into you or something, and the chick got all crazy. And
We talked about it a few episodes ago, but like, yo, I'm gonna sum it up real quick. But basically, this dude and like his group and our group, we kind of got a little controversy because he took one of our items. So we were trying to find it. And we found it through them. So we talked it out as men should. And he's like, all right, here. He gave it back to us. And we're like, all right, cool, man. Nice, like, you know, enjoy the rest of your night type shit. And as we're walking away, his girl starts instigating more shit. She was basically like, that's it? Huh? You're just gonna let him walk away? Huh? Like that? To her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend was kind of like, and I just looked at her and I just started laughing. I was like, wow. And I just started walking away. And then, of course, he has to man up now and all this shit. It's like, dude, we already squashed this shit. Like, you gave me back the item I was missing. We said, have a good day. Walked off. But his girl jumped in and... Yeah, we actually had to dip. We actually had cars following us and shit because it was a bunch of Samoans.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you know how they are around here sometimes, you know? Like, they're cool people, but when you get on their bad side, ooh, they be hunting you down. Like, we were literally, like, looking behind our backs and cars were following us and stuff.
That's his fault then, you know? He didn't have enough backbone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But doesn't that kind of say, like, women don't give a fuck about your mental health, like, in a sense?
I feel like it was more of her issue, too.
She was mentally ill.
Yeah,
but
I feel like it was more her herself.
Yeah.
They get emotionally affected more than men do. I feel like women in general, especially in
they're emotional.
In places where like there's bars and there's all different factors to it. But I don't know, man. I just hate the idea of like how women in general would interfere with stuff like that and make it escalate things to where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Was she intoxicated?
I don't know. She might have been a little bit drinks and stuff like that. But like, you know, like with going back to Andrew Tate, like he says, like if he gets in a controversy, he'll tell his girl, like, no matter what the fuck happens, I want you to get away and call the cops.
Right.
Like, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because situations like that, dude.
You never know.
We were with some people that I was hanging out with that could literally fuck these guys up, like bad. And we're like, nah, let's just leave and be the bigger people here because we don't need to fucking murder anyone tonight. Right. You know, type shit. So we left. But then they started following us on that stuff. But it's like because of her, like we already squashed this shit. This would have been done, you know. But
I agree.
So going back to that, do you believe? Why is it that women have more mental health issues than men?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Because that is statistically proven.
Factors.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And it's also like the way that women are today, and because it's so important to have a certain image as well.
Like validation?
Yeah, exactly. Like validation is very hard for women to express or even show like their true self. Women too can hide so much inside, which is why we also tend to like overthink. Just like what I mentioned earlier, like I would think back like to like certain conversations or fights that we would have, and I would think about like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said this. Oh, I should have said this instead.
Right.
Blah 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 blah. So much fucking shit, you know. Like
Right.
that's why women are we can be very complicating.
That makes sense.
Sure,
So
it can be very
question,
complicating.
why is it that women have more mental health when men deal with more difficult things?
I don't know, because you know, women, we have our periods. You know, the time of the month.
God,
For an example.
that's a fucking excuse. I feel like.
No, it's not.
Yes,
because
it
you would
is.
deal with like look,
I feel like
if
that's
you're
a cop
fucking
out.
cramping for like a few days straight, all fucking day,
Shitting bricks.
you know, like women go through certain types of pains with their bodies. It's men don't feel that. What the fuck do you guys have? Bad
poisoning?
shit? Huh?
Food poisoning,
Just kidding.
muscle cramps,
Oh, we have that
backaches,
too. Cramps are muscle cramps.
hard work.
You know?
No
Fucking
Bugatti.
give birth to children.
The
for
fact
one.
that the
you
woman
know?
relies on us for everything,
Not all women.
everything.
Not all women.
Most women do rely on
Yeah,
everything. Let's
most
say you're married, you're gonna rely on your husband for everything.
Shit, I
Motherfucker has to go to work, wake up early. He still has to protect. He has to provide, right? He has to develop all these things. He has to make sure that he's a good father. He has to wake up. Usually, he has to wake up early and go to work and work longer than the woman does. Come home later, right? So I'm just
Yeah, you
saying,
hear that, Danny?
why,
Has to be the mentally sane one. Out of the two.
why is it that? That's what I'm trying to figure out is why women have more mental illnesses. And I think the fact is that they sit at home and they have too much fucking time to do
That too is
nothing.
also, you have to have balance.
Yeah.
You have to have balance.
And then they sit in their fucking emotions. And then you telling me like women just think about a million fucking things in their head. And then that makes sense why they have mental illnesses.
Yeah, it's very, very natural that women overthink. If you're stuck at home, you know, all day, doing the same shit, of course it's gonna fuck you up mentally. You know, I went through that not that long ago too. Before I started working at the job that I have now. You know, I felt like I was mentally drained. You know, I wasn't happy being at home or anything like that. I needed to get the fuck out. I
Right.
needed to get a job. I need to socialize. But then like when you brought up like working in the office and stuff, I felt like my mind wasn't stimulating as much, which is why I started like applying at jobs and why I landed this one getting with the RBT position with autistic children. You know, like I feel like in people to be healthy, you have to continuously keep your mind stimulated.
Right.
You know, you got to be active.
Sure.
You got to do shit.
Right.
For sure.
Is that why autistic kids like are always handsy with everything? Like they're trying to keep themselves busy because I don't know what happens in their brain, but like I know not all autism is a bad autism.
Yeah, because autism is very broad.
Yeah, there's so many
There's
different spectrums.
you know different spectrums where they're very very talented, but they're just not very good at social behaviors actions. But there's also normal people that are actually borderline spectrum autism, but they speak normally. But you won't notice that they're autistic,
Right.
You know what I mean? But they have certain tendencies that might make them towards that spectrum.
Right.
So I think it just depends.
I heard autistic kids are pretty strong.
Oh, they're super
They're
strong.
like super strong and shit. Like this, it's gonna sound fucked up, but I heard this from someone. Okay, they're like, if I was ever trying to take over the world, I'll get a bunch of autistic kids around me and have them attack because they're emotionless and they'll just go for it. I'm like, damn, that sounds savage. Oh,
Damn. Like oh man, it's like
Like-
almost savages owning a bunch of saber tooths. Fuck.
just get fucking destroyed.
That makes sense.
Get a bunch of autistic saber tooths.
Oh my god.
You'll win for sure. Even against the autistic kids.
Damn, you gotta find some saber tooth first, though.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
but like,
What is the difference between Down syndrome and autistic?
I don't know the exact science of it. I don't want to give the wrong information, but it's all about mainly, I believe, just mainly on the balance of the hormones. No, not
Is-
the hormones,
is-
the chromosomes. I think.
Is
Yeah.
is Down syndrome more of like a mental retardation, and autism is like a like Asperger's or something?
Yeah.
where it's like more of like
You can still
missing.
you can still function to an extent, and some might be a higher value
Right.
of like functioning level versus like this whatever this is.
Right.
Whereas in Down syndrome, you're very limited on how you can function
Right.
in life. You know what I mean? Like speech, verbal patterns, and all that stuff.
I heard that you can actually develop autism over time.
Yeah.
Because, and I think that really plays into what's in our food
Yeah.
because there's a lot of fucking drinks out there and
Sugar too.
yeah, like
Sugar's a big
fake
one.
sugars and stuff like that, like synthetic sugars and phthalates that are in like plastics and shit like that will actually create autism in humans. Yeah, but no, I've had some really good connections with some kids who have had Asperger's.
My professor had Asperger's.
Yeah, and I heard that they like think they're cats sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard from someone, I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard that Elon has Asperger's. Is it true?
I could totally see
I could see that.
I
Yeah.
could totally see it.
Like I heard, I don't know if I heard it from a video of him saying or someone told me, but he like admitted that he has Asperger's or something like that.
Yeah.
It would make sense because he's a fucking genius.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like think about it. We're all normal human beings here. We're normal, healthy, right? Mentally. But
He's efficient.
yeah, he's efficient
He's
as fuck.
time of- yeah,
and
he's
that's something that has to have some type of autism.
You know, like a lot of people like wanna, I don't know, like before I knew better, you know, I would think like autistic are kind of like, you know,
Yeah. The R word.
yeah. But like after like, you know, growing up and like doing some more research and hearing more things, like they're actually like really talented people, you
Yeah.
know, like super talented, and like they might be like a little weird act sometimes, but like the way they think is completely different and all that stuff, you know. Like I was watching one video and they're even saying like you can look at autistic kids that have like superpowers in a way.
Yeah.
Like savants.
Yeah.
Savants are like considered super geniuses. Yeah, that's like the technical term or something like that. Like that. You ever seen the movie Rain Man with Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise?
No.
It's based on a real person where this person was able to memorize. Let's say if you put a book on that in front of him, he's able to read that page in like seconds, like just the entire page per second, like 1-2 seconds per each page, and he can recite every single line. You can tell him what page, what line it was, and he'll recite every single word.
Yeah.
It's a real fucking thing. And then,
I just came up with a
Yeah.
weird theory. What if autistic people and Down syndrome people are just part of the fucking the source without with errors, and they have like less limitations.
Yeah.
But because they have less limitations, other things in their brain doesn't function like it's supposed to, so that's why they're able to do these things.
Right.
It was
know
like
what I
the
mean?
next
I can see
evolutionary
that.
stage.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
There was one
It's like-
a special case where this kid like hasn't never played an instrument whatsoever. Picked up that
I think I've heard about
I
that.
think it was like a violin or some shit.
Yeah.
And
Played it
then
perfect.
picked up the violin and then never had any experience with it, but like they recalled certain information from
Right.
in the past where they saw like notes and they were able to play like the instrument perfectly. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I
the
heard
power,
about that
man.
too. I heard about that too.
Crazy.
Fucking crazy, dude.
That's insane.
Yeah, but no, I had one client that came in with his mother because, you know, unfortunately it's sad, but a lot of people with Down syndrome and autism, they have to be an adult, right? So he surprisingly, because, you know, they're not supposed to live that long sometimes.
Yeah.
He is like 50 something years old, and his mother was she's like 80 something, you know. But he's incredibly fucking a genius when it comes to art. Like he can literally look at a comic book, right, and memorize that whole thing, look away, and draw and sketch out everything that was on that page of the comic book
that's crazy.
to the T.
I could believe it.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Crazy photographic memory.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they have, like really good photographic memory. So,
I don't
like,
know.
That's why they can like look at something and like the Rain Man again, like how he just read the book and stuff, you know?
Maybe because our brain is only in a 12% use, that we're maxing out our 12% use. So that way, like, we don't have full efficiency of other parts. So like, because there's like some type of issue with their brain, I don't know if you can call it an issue or whatever it is, but it enhances. It's like when you lose like a sense, like you can't smell anymore, so now your taste is like more, you know, enhanced, or your hear or whatever.
They're a little,
hearing.
they're a little more less emotionless, right? They're more emotionless, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No, oh, okay.
But that's actually a myth, though. I found out that's actually a myth. The whole using our brain like 10%. We actually use our brain 100%. It's just we haven't really fully, I guess in like layman's terms, we haven't fully evolved to an extent. But we are using the full capacity of our brain. It's just we're not. We don't notice these type of things. You know what I mean? And I feel like we're still in a very infant stage for like as humans. So we're still developing. If you think about it, I mean, we've gone a long way over the past 150 years ish.
Well, that just dissected everything that we talked about this.
You know what I mean? I mean, I just learned it in like biology.
Well,
so.
because we went into a consciousness episode where we talked about like spirituality and shit and like,
Right.
conspiracies, and basically how our brain isn't fully fused all the way.
Yeah.
Because if we were to completely open up our mind, right, then we start talking about like ayahuasca, DMT,
Yeah.
shrooms and stuff like that. And if we were to get into that, our brain, we would literally lose ourselves because our brain is operating at 100%. Like there's no way, like all answers would be coming to you at full rapid capacity.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can really believe that statement,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's kind of hard, you know, especially like when you experience certain things in your life.
Yeah.
You know, like remember that time where we were on the balcony looking out at the mountains.
Oh, are you talking about the shroom? Okay.
Yeah. We're both looking at the mountains, and all of a sudden I looked at you and you're like, "Did you see that?" And you're like, "Yeah, I saw that." And we both saw the mountain just drop and come back up, right?
Yeah.
So like we weren't talking at this point. Like we were literally just next to each other, and I was like, "Oh shit, you saw that?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm just like, "What the fuck? The mountain just fell, right?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What the fuck? How did you see that too?" Like it's just crazy, you know. So like
crazy.
like those type of experiences make me believe like, yeah, we're not really connecting all our brains together, you know, in a way. Because if something like that can happen, like we're two physically different people.
Imagine if
I feel like there's like another plane
Mm-hmm.
we haven't accessed. I don't think it's not necessarily we haven't accessed our brain.
Yes.
Our brain has it all, but we just haven't fully accessed that different type of plane in our reality. You know what I mean? We can't. Not yet. I mean,
well, that's we were talking about how there's like multi-dimensional beings and that we sit in the third dimension.
Yeah.
So like in order to get past that, which would be the fourth dimension, which is mythical creatures and all those other things, and then there's 9 levels. So in a weird, when you say plane, I'm thinking like next dimension.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's ever going to happen unless we die.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, ayahuasca. I plan to do ayahuasca.
But even then, that only gives you a little bit of glimpse into.
But it changes your perspective. I believe, you know, hallucinogens are very beneficial to like just mental health in general. They're already incorporating it
That's true.
to
For veterans.
for low dosages for veterans. They're doing it
suffering
for
from
regular
PTSD.
people. It's just there's a big whole stigma like, oh, drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, at the same time, I get it because like a lot of people, there's a lot of people out there that want to abuse these hallucinogens.
Yeah, we did
they're-
talk
but,
about we did talk about how it should remain a category 4 drug, and I 100% agree that if it's used with a professional, great for you, because we talked in a previous podcast how Sebastian and we both know somebody from the past who wasn't like that, and now the way they are now is they're completely lost because of the abuse of this drug.
Yeah.
So
Like with anything like that, if you abuse it, it'll fuck you up.
For sure.
Like, you know, we've all known people that don't come back. And it's because you abuse it. That's why, like, if you're going to do this kind of stuff, you do it with people who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, don't abuse it. Like, the dude, he was taking 20 grams.
Yeah. That's a lot.
20 grams.
I thought
a day.
7-8 grams.
A day.
Damn.
You see, and that's where addiction.
Since January.
a day every day.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, like, not a sight of reality, like, in almost 6 months. Yeah, you know?
Would you want to get into that field in your mental health event, like later on in life?
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but it's also very hard because for someone to abuse drugs like that and to become addicted and reliant, you know, you're so used to having those kind of chemicals. It's very hard to get those chemicals back naturally.
Right.
I feel like people don't approach it the proper way either way too. Because like with certain like ayahuasca retreats, you have a month prior to your retreat.
Yeah.
They want you to be on this like strict diet.
Right.
And
Full detox.
full detox, like no sugar, like no salt, and
Right.
all that stuff like that. And you have to get in the right mindset, like why you're doing this. You can't just do it because you want to have fun. You know what I
I
mean?
heard it was no meat too. Because they want you to, because there's natural salts in meat, so they want you to be completely depleted of salts. Because when you take ayahuasca or that, you know, whatever drug they're using, the only way to get you to vomit if you start freaking the fuck out is by basically pouring salt in your mouth to where you like wake up and come out of it. So
I don't know. I don't remember my cousin mentioning about no meat, but you could. I mean, it won't hurt.
Right.
I mean, as far as you have like a good approach and a good reason behind why you do it, I think you'll be fine. I mean, for example, like I'm not gonna get told DMT, for example, but you know, the proper routine is they want you to meditate. They want you to self-reflect. Because if you know you're a negative person or whatever, even if you're a positive person, you have to accept what it is.
yeah.
And sometimes if you've been through like some really fucked up shit, you have to like kind of acknowledge like, you know what, I've been through some fucked up shit, but you know, I'm ready for this experience. But if you resist it, that's when it starts getting bad. And then you start making stupid life decisions where it might affect you drastically or positively. So I think it just depends on how you go about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty confident it won't affect me to the point where like, I'm just going to drop everything. Like, fuck this degree. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as far as that, I mean, I think it's useful depending on how you do
Yeah.
go about it. So
Yeah, I really believe though that not everyone's ready for that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And like, there's been proven facts like too much of those things, or even weed sometimes can bring out schizophrenia and stuff like that, you know.
really, oh wow,
Hell yeah. People don't understand, but marijuana is actually not good for everyone.
yeah,
Like I didn't know this, but I was taking this drug because it was like I was getting weird fucking headaches and stuff like that, like really hardcore migraines. And then I was getting ready to leave on that trip, you know, and then I was like, can I smoke weed with this fucking drug, right? Because I noticed that it's a mental psychosis type of drug. When I searched up the fucking drug name, which I'm not gonna say, and marijuana use, and it's the only, and it was one of those things where it was like, do not use this fucking drug. There was only like 10 on the list, but this one was like, do not use this with marijuana. It will fuck you up, is what everybody was basically saying. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna smoke any pot out there at all, and I never smoke weed. You know what I mean? So,
plus it raises your estrogen, doesn't it? Right?
marijuana, yes, it does.
It raises your
does.
estrogen, yeah.
Yeah, it does raise your estrogen.
Mine lowered.
Your estrogen? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, my
Oh no. It does. Technically, estrogen and testosterone go hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So marijuana will drop your testosterone, and then you would then see an increase
in your okay.
estrogen.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So if it's like somebody like Sebastian, natural, like healthy lifestyle, he probably has really high.
It wouldn't affect them as much versus like someone who's more sedentary, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, like, and with like anything, you know, like even medications that you take, you know, one person has one reaction, another person can have another reaction. It's the same thing when you start fucking around with these type of things, you know, like it's literally not meant for everyone.
Yeah.
Like some of the shit will fuck you up, but like, you know, it's like food, you know, like how you're allergic to certain foods, I'm not allergic to certain foods or whatever, you know, like every human body is different. So
at the end of the day, though, drugs are not good for you.
Yeah.
Like if you can just live life without drugs, without alcohol, without marijuana, without nicotine, any of that,
For sure.
great for you. But a lot of the excuses I think a lot of times people say are like, I only live once and I want to live this life to the best, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we all have our vices, and that's always going to be a thing, whether it's like fucking sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's gambling, whether it's whatever it is. Someone has a vice and you got to pick one, and you can't have all of them.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to end the fucking podcast.
it's all about balance.
See you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Your thoughts being THOT below. Tell us what you liked about this episode, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, because we need 1,000 followers. We're
You guys
also
on TikTok now.
yeah, we're also on Spotify, and what was the other one?
Twitter, but no one uses Twitter.
Yeah, but fucking Twitter. Yeah. All right.
And guys and gals, don't forget to sun your genitals and live life fearlessly.
Live life here.
Oh, and if your neighbor looks at you, just stare at him.
That's right.
Yeah, fuck it. Just stare.
Sun them genitals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
Is it life